Guess who survived their first week of second grade? That's right, me. I know it doesn't sound like I survived. Yes, I lost my voice because last weekend before school started, I was running a fever on the Sunday before. And by nothing short of a miracle, I did not have a fever Monday morning when I woke up, and I have only lost my voice this much. So, let me recap some of the highlights of this week for you. My kids are awesome. They're really bright, intelligent, fast. They pick up things really quick. So I'm super excited about this year. I'm going to get to do a whole lot of really cool stuff with them because they know it. One of the super cool things, I'm going to sit down because it's 6 o'clock and I just finished the first week of school. So one of the things that's going to be super cool this year is because our school does engineering design process, we do a lot of STEM education. That started last year was the big push for that. So in first grade, these guys were exposed to all of that. So on Wednesday, a couple days ago, I decided to do an engineering design process. It was called Saving Fred. We had to rescue a little gummy worm and put him in a lifesaver life jacket deal, but we couldn't touch any of it. Guys, they were awesome. I mean, actually, let me see if I can find some of these plants to show you because I was just really impressed. So they came up with such good ideas. Okay, here we go. So they made some really, really good plans. And this was on like the third day of school and they already could fill that whole thing out. And it was a beautiful thing. So that's nice that this training that they had in first grade is now paying off. And I'm reaping the benefits of that because that means I don't spend the whole year teaching them how to write a plan. And instead we get to do all the projects because we're not stuck on planning them. Oh my gosh, my hair. It's Friday, guys. I couldn't be bothered this morning. So that was awesome. Another great thing, nobody licked the walls yesterday or today. Yes, those words literally did just come out of my mouth. I had a student who was licking the wall in the hallway. But he's not anymore. And we're going to celebrate that fact because that is a beautiful thing. My students really like me. I don't think I realized how big of a difference that can make until this year because I don't think my students last year didn't dislike me. Just I didn't have very many that were like super attached to me. And I have a couple this year that are like pretty attached. I have gotten more hugs this week than I got all of last year combined. It's just a different type of feeling. Like I mentioned, I'm at a new school, and the feeling here is just very different as well. It's just so much more, I don't know, we really worked hard to solidify, make some procedures as a whole school that everybody's following now, and you can really tell the difference it's making. Just the less chaos everywhere. It's awesome. So that's been super cool. Everything that I've put together in my room so far has been working really well. I'm liking my setup and stuff. So last year, my teaching style was change everything always. And I thought that was just a first year thing. No, I think that's just a me thing because I'm already changing some things. Granted, this time I changed them before I taught them to the students, so that's good. I'm thinking about moving that table I have in the corner over there. I'm not using it for anything. And I think I'd rather put some sort of a bookshelf there because originally those blue center baskets right behind me, I was going to use those for our reading type centers. But I've got my math centers in there and it's been really nice because then when we finish our math pages, I'm like, okay, go grab a math game. And they just know right to grab to those baskets and they've got the recording sheets in there and everything. So I'm thinking I want another shelf like that for the reading stuff. So I'm already making some changes. Speaking of changes that I'm making, I'm going to change something pretty major, actually. My centers is going to change. So my original plan was to have 6 centers and have them rotate to each one for 15 minutes. It's going to be pretty structured. But now that I've met this group of kids, they don't need that. They're going to be able to do this themselves, and they need kind of that independence to kind of choose where they're at. So let me flip you around, and I'll show you what my plan for that is going to be, what my change I'm making there is. Okay, so like I said, originally I had 6 different places that they were going to go, and I did finally put the color-coded squares in there to say which group is going where. But I talked to another teacher about the way she does it, and she actually has 3 of her sections say centers on them, and 2, well, sort of. She has a format like this, where there's multiple sections that say centers, some that say reading, and some that say the teacher's name. So what I will be doing is then making centers, reading, centers, Miss Stone will be the rotation there. So when you are on centers, there's going to be 6 centers: writing, iPads, Chromebooks, word work, and spelling are going to be the options there. And within those, you get to pick your own option. You need to do 1 of everything before you can do 2 of anything. But that way it lets students kind of move as they need to. And it's a little less structured, which means for me, because my kids are super bright and are going to move through this kind of stuff super fast, and then they'd be sitting there bored. That means, like, if Susie Q finishes her word work assignment really fast, she can switch over and do writing because she loves writing and really wants to do writing. And that way there's some choice and accountability type stuff going on there that they can choose where they want to go. So that's my biggest switch. And the nice thing about this switch is I haven't taught the kids how to rotate yet, so they'll learn it the first way with those center rotations. Classroom library has been going really well. I just started using book boxes this year and literally had no idea how to do them. So if you're somebody who's heard of people using book boxes and you don't know what we're talking about, I freaking love them. It's the best. So basically there's a book box for every single student, and at a given time every day they come and can switch out their books. And if they want to switch out their books, and if they don't, they just leave them in there. And then whenever you have them read, instead of them coming through and going to the library and trying to find something to read and shoving books in their desk, they just grab their box, read the books that are in it, and then put it away. And they only are allowed to go shopping at that one time during the day. So even if they only picked 2 books, tough luck, you just got to keep reading those over and over again until we get to shopping time again. So I've really liked that because that gives me a little bit less chaos. And right now it's looking like sports and joke books are the most popular because those 2 boxes are almost empty. I have also seen, and this is something that once I start getting into reading with them, I'm going to deal with, a couple of my kids who can't read grabbing chapter books because they're Diary of a Minecraft Zombie, and so they like them, and so they're just flipping through looking at the pictures. And so we'll be talking more about choosing good books for ourselves, and then I can also maybe drop some books into those student book boxes if I need to. I hate this. Stress, people. Stress will do terrible things to your face. That's what I've learned. Anyway, so we made it through the first week of school. It's awesome. I'm definitely changing my seating chart for next week because while these kids are great, there's a couple combinations that if it lasts too much longer is not going to end well for any of us. So it's 6 o'clock right now. I just finished planning for next week, cleaning off a mess that I have had on my desk all week because I've just been like sticking papers. And before I can go home, I'm going to move the name tags around on my desk, their desks. And then I'm going to switch out this board like I was just telling you about. And I also printed out the little numbers that go on my Hippotastic work wall. And then I finally got the pictures printed. Actually, I can't show you their pictures. I'm not going to show you their pictures. I printed the pictures to go on my birthday wall. So I'll show you what that looks like from a distance when we get finished with that, so you can see. One last thing I want to show you, because we are going to start into the first week of our literacy program, is a little bit how my focus wall works, so you get an idea of that. So let me show you that really quick. So this is the way the focus wall works. So the comprehension skill we're doing this week is character setting an event. So I just write that on there. Phonics, we're talking about short A and short I. We're not talking about everything next week because the program actually does something called Smart Start, where it does like a mini version of the regular program so you can kind of ease into it. So that's why not all of the boards are filled out. But this is what it'll look like when I start filling it out. We added more questions. Oh, wait. I'm looking at these with the poor handwriting, thinking some kids went and added them. That was me. I was just writing from this side. That's embarrassing. Okay, one last update. Second day of school, I introduced class jobs. Third day of school, I'm like, job crews are not doing it for me. Not happening. And I was like, we're going back to regular jobs. However, here we are on Friday. Job crews are great. I'm loving them. So let me show you really fast. This is how it looks. You just circle however many kids are on that job. So I have some with 3 and some with 4. You can tell that students have been touching that one because it's kind of erased. Anyway, so they look at that list of jobs, and I ended up adjusting my end of day schedule. So I'll just run you through that really fast. Sorry, I have to sit down again. I can't do the standing thing anymore. At 3:00 something-ish, right before the end of the day, an alarm rings on my phone with a specific ringtone that they all know now, and that means clean up in class jobs. So for 5 minutes, they are putting away anything we're working on, and they're going around the room doing their class jobs. So my cleanup people are cleaning up, people are pencil sharpening, people are helping me do stuff, and then 5 minutes later, that same tone goes off, and it's called Skittle time. When that bell rings, you need to be in your desk with it all cleaned off and your class job done. If that's the case, I give you a Skittle. Then those kids that are sitting there who have gotten Skittles, I dismiss them to stack their chair and go get their backpack. They go get their backpack and come back and sit in front of me at my sitting spot or on your rug if that's what you have, and we read a story until the end of the day. I've done that 2 days in a row now. Okay, so fun story, my phone ran out of storage and won't airdrop to my computer, so I'm using my teacher iPad right now, but I wanted to show you that the birthday wall is put together. The reason March has an awkward, whoa, my hand's huge, awkward space right there is because that's where my birthday is going to go. My birthdays are so not evenly spread out this year. What a mess. I graded all the homework in those homework folders. I put up all the numbers on here. Can we talk about how sad it is that I only had room for 21 and then poor little 22 is down there? I think on those clips I'll hang something about the Chromebooks, which are currently packed up in this bag as well as the iPads, so that this weekend I can finish those. So basically the moral of the story is this week has been crazy. It is now 7:10 and I'm just leaving on a Friday night. But I think other than my hair being absolutely insane right now, I survived all right. And I think it's going to be a pretty good year. I haven't tried to change too many things. It's all going pretty well. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted before. I really do like my class job crews and the way I'm doing my end of day. It's working pretty well. Like I said, nobody's licking the walls today, so chalk that up to a successful week. Thanks, guys, for supporting me in this. Hopefully my voice will return so I don't sound scary next time. But that's about it for tonight. See ya.